Some scenes in this program have been reenacted. Certain names have been changed. A serial killer is moving through California neighborhoods, delivering death door to door. Detectives race against time, knowing that serial killers don't stop on their own. Bodies begin turning up across Northern California, and investigators search for a common link. What they find is a disturbing pattern of rare and escalating cruelty. For years, a deadly predator taunts police while claiming victim after victim. With every murder, he grows bolder. As the body count rises, authorities become more desperate to stop a killer who seems to be counting his crimes one by one. January 12, 1990, begins as a beautiful day in San Diego. But Chris Burns feels something is wrong. His fiancée, Tiffany Schultz, hasn't returned home. Her car is still parked outside. Her purse and keys are inside the apartment. When the door to her bedroom is opened, a nightmare is revealed. Tiffany lies dead, partially undressed and covered in blood. She has been stabbed repeatedly. Police arrive to a scene of shocking violence. Tiffany's body has been deliberately posed. Bruises show she fought desperately for her life. Burns, shaken and covered in blood, tells detectives he discovered her body and tried to help. But investigators notice inconsistencies, and the blood on his clothes raises immediate suspicion. Burns is arrested and charged with murder. But forensic testing soon complicates the case. Blood on his shirt matches Tiffany's, consistent with his claim that he touched her after discovering the body. The blood on his pants matches his own. With no physical evidence tying him directly to the killing, police are forced to release him, though he remains their primary suspect. 1 month later, another woman is found brutally murdered in the same apartment complex. Janine Weinhold, a college student, is discovered stabbed, partially nude, and posed in the same disturbing position. This time, sexual evidence is found at the scene. Investigators realize they may be dealing with a serial killer. Then the murders continue. Another young woman is stabbed through the heart. A witness sees a man fleeing with a knife, his face partially covered. The killer leaves behind almost nothing. No usable fingerprints, no clear description. Fear spreads through the community as police struggle to stop the violence. All the victims are young women. All are left partially undressed. All are posed. The killer becomes known as the Claremont Killer. Hundreds of suspects are questioned. Thousands of leads are followed, but the murders don't stop. In early 1991, a woman narrowly escapes an intruder attempting to break into her apartment. She notices the man's car and reports it to police. That single detail becomes the turning point. Detectives track the vehicle to a man named Cleophas Prince, who had already appeared on their suspect list. Police quietly obtain a blood sample. DNA testing is still new, but early comparisons show a match. Investigators know immediately they have their man. Prince is arrested, and evidence quickly piles up. Jewelry belonging to victims is found in his possession. Shoe prints match impressions left at crime scenes. Cleophas Prince is convicted of 6 murders and sentenced to death. But the terror doesn't end there. In San Francisco, hikers discover 2 large barrels leaking a foul odor in Golden Gate Park. Inside are human remains, wrapped in plastic and sealed with cement. Forensic experts carefully examine every inch, using experimental techniques to lift fingerprints from tape and hardened cement. Against all odds, 1 clear fingerprint is recovered. That print leads investigators to a man known as Jack, whose real name is Anthony John Sully. A former police officer turned electrical contractor, Sully operates out of a warehouse. Inside, detectives uncover a horrifying scene: ropes, hooks, pornographic material, and a modified firearm capable of firing unstable bullets. Forensic evidence ties Sully to multiple murders. Victims had been tortured, killed, sealed in barrels, and dumped in public places. Sully is convicted of 6 murders and sentenced to death. Still, another killer is operating in Southern California. In Riverside County, women begin turning up dead along rural roads. They are strangled, stabbed, and sometimes regressed. The victims are prostitutes, and the killer leaves little behind. Only tire tracks, fibers, and shoe prints connect the crimes. As the months pass, the body count grows. The killer becomes more confident, more brutal. By 1992, 19 women have been murdered. Fear grips the region as investigators chase a ghost. Then, during a routine traffic stop, everything changes. A van with mismatched tires catches an officer's attention. Inside, police find a blood-stained knife, rope, and items that match evidence from multiple crime scenes. The driver is William Suff. DNA testing confirms what investigators suspected. Fibers, tire records, and shoe prints all match. Suff had spent years hunting vulnerable women, abducting them from red light districts, torturing them, and killing them. William Suff is convicted of multiple murders and sentenced to death 12 times. Serial killers hide in plain sight. They blend into everyday life, believing they are invisible. But patterns always form, and those patterns eventually betray them. No matter how long it takes, no matter how carefully they try to cover their tracks, forensic evidence never forgets.